So the video before this, the guy in the thumbnail is the Count of Saint Germain. This guy was supposed to be basically flawless. Um, if you look it up, um, the guy was New Castanova. So basically this guy was he seemed like he didn't age, and he was perfect at everything. Like, he could talk his way up into royalty. He didn't have to worry about um, money. He was he was like the best musician, the most charismatic person. Um, he knew basically everything. Nobody seen him eat. Nobody seen him eat. And he dominated the conversation. So he's super charismatic. So what I'm trying to say is, like, he like checked all the boxes basically. Um, and I don't know if he's really existed. Some people say that the guy's immortal. He had like this potion that he would take, give him like forever like youth. I don't know. I'm open minded. It's possible, sure. With the red pill guys, like, okay, like, if you listen to the red pill guys, they make it sound like you gotta do this and this and this. Like, not everybody starts out the same place. That's number one. So, like, what I noticed about my experience with the red pill community is I was heartbroken. Okay, I was absolutely heartbroken. I was trying to, like, find relatability. And when they used to talk about, female nature, and learning about female nature was absolutely wonderful. Great thing. I mean, it doesn't really serve me nowadays, but understanding female nature is absolutely beautiful. But what they make it sound like is, like, what they seem like is like they're still stuck in high school. You know what I mean? And a lot of the people who support them will never be on their level. They're just like customers, basically. They're just a lot of broken men who are coping. When they talk about the wall, it's like women are like not beautiful after age 30. Like, yes, women are beautiful after 30, man. Like, I don't know. They might not be as like fertile, sure, but like I would rather date somebody my age, honestly. That I'm attracted to. She ain't gotta be perfect or nothing like that. I'm definitely not perfect, but looking at the young women nowadays, I can't. A woman, what I've seen out of older women compared to younger women is the younger women seem to be like more masculine, and the older women seem to be more effeminate. So I don't want to deal with that crap. But like what they push is almost like impossible for like most people. Like this Andrew Tate lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to self improve. I think that self improvement is like a great thing, but like you're not gonna check all the boxes, and that's why they make it seem like Andrew Tate acts like he checks all the boxes, and he doesn't check all the boxes. None of these people do. And you're listening to this, and like they preach about like good things, man. Like, they say good things, like, and it's about like self-improvement, but like these guys are like narcissists too. Like, so there's a degree of narcissism about these people. You can say that about me too, that's cool, but like they want the validation, and when I think like with like people that are big, like Rich Cooper or like Rolo, it's like, dude, when are you going to move on to something else? You know what I mean? Like, when are you going to move on to, like, how about you run for, like, political office and make a real change and hand off to no, but they just want to, like, gatekeep and just, like, make it so nobody else comes up. And it's so hard it's like, dude, you should be, like, grooming the next generation of like red pill guys content creators, but they don't. They just hold on to it because they're just like, and that's cool. Like, it's capitalism. Like it's like monopolized. Like you have all the power, you have all the control. Cool, but like that, all you do is really care about yourself. You don't really care about the people who you're supposed to be like selling your product to. The people who buy your product. Like, there's this like what I was trying to say about like the processed food is like, man, we all have in this society, which it's so like when there's no carrot, like we have to have vices, and some of these content creators act like they have no vices, and it's just like so crazy, and it's like they live like a perfect life, like the Instagram models for women, like Kim Kardashian, like it seems like all the women want to be like her, Kim Kardashian. And she portrays herself to be like perfect in every way, flawless, when they're not. They're not flawless. No human is flawless. We all have our faults. We're never gonna like have everything, all the boxes checked 100%. And it's just like it's pretty unrealistic. And I think a lot, they might be getting younger viewers, like younger men or something like that. But I think like they prey on like guys my ake who have been through hell, and they're trying to find some direction. They're trying to figure out their purpose. What's the point for me to keep it existing? And a lot of guys are like basically simps to them. They can't. If you go against them at all, they will attack you. Like question them. Not even like, you don't even have to be disrespectful, but it's just like questioning them, and it's like a cult. It's like a cult. And the guys who are at like my level, which, dude, you're not gonna ever be in the club, man. Maybe like one or two of you might squeak out or something like that, but you're not a part of the club. It is so hard for you to gain the status at this point, gain capital. Everything is just so wonky and crazy and unstable, to be honest. Everything is like completely unstable. Like right now, it's like the threat of World War III because Europe wants to sit here and back Ukraine. Like, who cares about Ukraine, man? What indication has Russia ever said that they're gonna keep on like they're gonna take over Ukraine and keep on taking? They're not like taking over anything like that. And as far as I know, they just want to be able to like have access to some like port, one of their ports, and be able to trade. They have a lot of resources, man. They have like the biggest landmass with like a bunch of resources. They don't need to conquer the world. And and that's the way the left acts, is like, oh, I know, getting into politics, but yeah. What's happening right now is just feels like so hard for people to like figure out like where we're going, what are we doing. Like most of the guys who like support the red pill community content creators are basic dudes that won't ever change most things. Like, how hard it is to change anything in your life when the older you get. It's so hard to adapt and change and completely change everything. Like, yes, it can happen, especially if you go through some like traumatic event. Then you can really change your life around, take that suffering and pain. But like most guys, they might fix a couple things, you know what I mean? But to just like completely overhaul your life to be like this alpha Chad, mostly if you're not an alpha, like you're never gonna be an alpha. You can betray yourself as an alpha, but you're not gonna be an alpha. You can assert yourself more and stuff like that, but like, if you're a beta follower, like I'm a little bit of both, man. Like I'm a little like sometimes I just want to chill. I just want to relax. I don't want to have all the responsibility on me. I'm not a control freak. And that's what basically you are if you're an alpha. Is like you're a control freak. You need to have like, you have the huge ass ego that you can't control, and you need to have control over everything. So, but and honestly, if you're alpha, you don't even know you're alpha. And I know this because I've talked to alphas like didn't even know. Like it does. one of the people I worked with, one of my bosses that you know, he basically like doesn't even fucking know. They just are. You either are or you're not. You can pretend you are. Like I did very well dating, pretending I was somebody else. I knew I couldn't sustain it because it just took too much energy. I can't be like A plus 100% of the time. Like no one's going to be A plus 100% of the time. You see these women on the internet, they look so gorgeous and they look so beautiful, but they don't look like that all the time. You know what I mean? Like when they get out of the shower, they don't look like that. Even if like they always wear makeup all the time, there's going to be times where they're just like, I don't want to go out. I just want to relax. I just want to be comfy. One thing is like very adorable to me is women with baggy sweats and baggy sweatshirts. That sounds so crazy, doesn't it? Because you don't see much of it. All you see when you go out is you see these women in their leggings showing everything off. When I see a woman with like baggy clothes, like baggy sweats, especially at the gym, I'm like, she's not trying to get attention. And it makes me curious. There's mysterious, like, I wonder what's under there. It's intriguing. And I know it sounds weird. I'm a guy, but like that's how all guys think. Like that's what we think about all the time. We think about physical intimacy all the time. I'm sorry. This is what we think about all. If we didn't think about it all the time, the human race would have died a long, long time ago. And it could, you know. So it's just like the guys who are portrayed as creeps because like they, they're too blunt about their physical intimacy, like portraying it like people to see it. If they're unattractive, like if you're unattractive, then you start getting looked down. Like attractive people have a different level, man. They have a different privilege. They just do, whether you're a man or a woman. Me, I'm not that attractive, man. I'm just not physically that attractive. People listen to you more if you're a good-looking person. It is what it is. You can take a good-looking person, a good-looking woman, and then you could take like a beat down woman that looks like she's been on meth, and they could say the exact same thing, and you're going to gravitate towards the good looking woman. The same thing goes for guys. Like you could take all my content, what I've been saying, and if I was like a really, really good looking dude, it'll sell more. Good looking sells because it's a rare thing. That's why it's rarity. Most of us look average people. We're average looking people. And that's what these guys need to understand is like when you're red pill community is they're trying to sell you something and they have to keep you going. They have to keep you hooked. And a lot of their advice like really did well for me back in the day before COVID. But guess what? COVID changed everything. The game has changed completely. A lot of women, they know the game. They know, like, kind of be funny. Like, they see it. They understand it because, like, it's already been ran on them probably. Or it's just, like, they're used to being isolated. So, people have isolated themselves, including myself. I still do isolate myself. And that is, they say, like, if you... it takes like 60 days or something like that to get what is that, like a rhythm with something, get over an addiction or start, it's like reprogramming. I think that most of us have some type of level of NPC. That's what the subconscious is. I think that subconscious mind, I think that like the people on the left, they basically are on AI automation mode. They have no critical thinking. They can't think. And when you hear about people talking, like a lot of people don't have like an internal monologue, or they can't think like steps ahead. They can only think about right now. For me, like I have signs of NPCs. So like when I drive, I sit there and daydream. I don't tailgate. I Because I can't just focus. Driving to me is such a boring thing, and so I'm like, I distract myself like with my own creations in my mind, because whatever I'm playing in my mind is so much fucking better than like reality. Because reality is fucking shitty, dude. For most people, reality is fucking boring, man. Like it really is. And the people who say like, oh, like get off the internet, like whatever, like get off the video games and like, but like, dude, I don't know how many times I was with a real woman and I was intimate and I ended up like in the middle of the act, kind of getting bored, It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't view reality as very fun, but I'm poor too, so like I don't I can't like go and do a bunch of stuff. I can't go do cool stuff. I can't just feel like I can't just like just go and like off a whim. I'm sitting here worried about like surviving, about not being homeless, and I think that's what a lot of people are. So I can't go do like extravagant things. Like I would love to go to Europe and I would love to go to like China or the Philippines or South America. I would love to go to these places, man. I would love to go to all 50 states. But it's like, I don't have the resources, man. I really don't have the fucking resources. Now I'd like to go out and do things more, but like I don't have the resources to go to. I like to go to sport. I like going to sporting events. I like going to concerts. But it's such a hassle too. It's such a hassle with the parking and like I can't wait till I don't have to drive. I could just when transportation becomes like really really cheap when robots are doing all the driving, it's gonna be so great. You just drop me off in front and that's it. I don't have to worry about finding a car. It's just like or finding a parking spot or everything being packed and you know anyway. But like, yeah, check that guy out. No one knows his real name. The Count of Saint Germain. Interesting, interesting guy. If he did exist, if he didn't, still a cool story.